What's good, YouTube? And welcome to another verse prize card. I am not a fan of these vanilla prize cards at all, and the market does speak to that. At the WCQ, top level duelists were letting go of this admittedly for under $300. That is crazy to me. And when it comes down to it, in the Facebook groups, they're like 400 to 600, averaging 500 post WCQ. And on eBay, I think the lowest listed is like 700 some odd for another verse dragon, which would be nicer, but it's sitting there on eBay right now. I love the playmat. I do like the design, but I just wish the card did a little something, even if it wasn't that good. And I like the mid-range prize cards, but if you don't want a prize card that warps everything, I'm speaking to Konami and people advocating for these vanilla prize cards, you could do like an alter art of a meta staple in a special rarity, one super special for first place, not as nice for second and third, but still defining, so those prize cards are always set aside and different. And then, you know, you could actually eventually give that to the community, but that special rarity will always identify the prize card besides just the set number. I guess that's too much work, I suppose, but yeah, imagine a different art for Imperm or Ash Blossom, something special like that, and the community eventually still even gets it, just not in that really cool rarity that could be made for prize cards and exclusive to them. But yeah, again, the market speaks to them not liking this, and this is the talk of the town of the day. Let's go ahead and get into more regular topics, such as Edison format continually pounding the market here. Goyo Guardian is going crazy, DT1 really spiking. Again, I'm never a huge fan of DT buyouts. Remember, DT 1 through 4 got clearanced at one point, so tons of people just sitting on a lot of that, but that's gone over the ages. A lot of people have sold a lot of that, but it still seems to pop back relatively quickly, and you now have the Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 DT, which, you know, it's a real buyout when this starts going. Usually, the search terms aren't as there, people leave this behind. 14 listings, it's not like it went crazy in price. You can still get these around $2, so you can still get your copy, but even those are going. So it speaks to how real this is. The Battles of Legend Ultra, kinda ugly, didn't turn out the greatest. It's one of the lower copies, and you do have different options for at you people allergic to gold rare. A lot of different ones here, though, and of course the OG Ultimate Rare doing pretty well for itself too. Substitute, I sold a ton of these in the Discord when I was doing those Discord deals for around $12. It's towards 30. Reprint win, Konami. People have enjoyed their time with this. Edison format, again, this is a popular one in there. It's unbanned now, so it'd be nice to see, you know, a little something with that. Snowman Eater super rare is going crazy, and every single version of this kind of up for Edison over time. It's been a long time since it had any kind of printing, right? Having calendar 2018 super rare as well. And then we go to hat format, apparently, with Abyss Lind and Abyss Sphere never getting reprints. Dyson Sphere comes along when I type Abyss Sphere. Don't know why, TCG player. But seriously, the Sphere probably. Spherical, dude. And you have the Ultimate Rare with the wrong picture. It's been going up super low quantities, and the Ultras have been going a little bit too. High Rarity Mermail is also its own little bubble within the market that used to be a lot stronger and still does have a lot of weight. So it kind of double dips between playability and people hyping other past formats and looking at the next big thing. I hear bubbling on, the pun intended, Plants as well. And Plants was the huge one going into Crush Card times that people picked up at first. Pack was really championing that, but then it switched to Edison. And so people are looking at other things besides just Edison, that new flavor of the past years, but it is something to consider that multiple past formats will eventually be taking off and competing most likely over time. Now, you know all those people who were like, oh, those Starlight rares won't go down because of the quarter century rares, they're special, they're so rare, they're so different. Well, what's coming now after people seeing those trends already go downwards? There's the Rarity Collection, Ultimate Rares, and speculation around them. Look at the dips on Dark Law and Effect Veiler. This is not to laugh at the holders. The Rarity Collection was a complete sideways surprise coming, but ever since, oh my goodness, listings under 300 for Dark Law. What year is it? It is nice to see this much more affordable in my opinion, but a lot of people during the Crush Card times were spending upwards of 500 on it, so if you're one of the holders on that, it does hurt to see Konami go back in that way, but I think bringing in that OCG Ultimate Rare technology is highly worth it, and you'll get some really affordable, cool, high rarity cards. Valor also going, it's used to be way higher. Look at this first ed price, over 500. It was up there in the metagame, competing with the Starlight Rare, but since it has dipped back out of metagames, it still managed to stay up a good degree, but start to trail off. Now, that absolute dip on down. Let's see where they're listed. I actually, live reaction done cheap, haven't looked at this yet. The unlims are still pretty pricey in my opinion, but will the first eds really have multiple listings around that, or was it desperation sales in that 250 range? I've seen a lot of people trying to get 300 for these in the groups lately. Very light play English, we have pictures here, and yeah, 290, just under 300, similar to the Facebook group. So not quite as bad as the graph. Maybe it's a desperation sale, it doesn't move much from there, but they're also not moving all that much for the first edition, and plenty of people settling for light plays, etc. for the cheaper prices. Bizer Shock's apparently doing something in today's metagame. I did not see that coming. Apparently with the Guardian stuff, you're able to turn this one on, and you can see even the speed duel copies are going as people want one to play. And it reads, when this card's normal, flipped, or special, to return all set cards on the field to the owner's respective hands. So it does do a big kind of thing to a portion of the game. But yeah, apparently seeing some play. I haven't seen the plays, but apparently seeing some play. Tier Element Rucolos Starlight Rare is non-stop up amid a lot of people ditching Starlight Rares as their investments, and this, the Tier Element engine is strong, and people are saying, well, once Arias Heart's ban taken care of, this is going to be even stronger. You're on some banless Copia maybe, but consistently this engine is seeing play already through that, and is unlikely to get hit too much harder, while other things might clear the way a bit. Super Polymerization, speaking of tier and other decks like Branded, the secret rares are all up and going down in quantity. The Speed Duel one is even going up. Battles of Legend, I noticed, I was staring at this, and while the graph is a little you can see it was much cheaper. I've called this a penny stonk before. $4 and quickly up on the front page. So be aware, every single version of Super Poly is still, like, even the commons above $2, always pick this out of bulk. You should never leave it behind. But the holo versions are starting to spike on back up. Super interesting. And remember that quarter century rare? Yeah, look, a little bit of spiky spike in the graph there as well. That is one that I said felt too cheap, and it has started to adjust. Book of Eclipse, I love saying I was right sometimes. Not all the times. Sometimes I'm right for the wrong reason, and I own that. Book of Eclipse is going back up. This is one I didn't necessarily see. It was already good against Kashtira. People are hoping Kashtira gets hit harder once again. And then good against Purely, which also got hits, but they're both still around. So you're seeing big ol' spikes on certain versions of Book of Eclipse right now as a tech within the metagame. Assault Synchron here is down bad. See, this is one where I'm wrong. I thought it felt undervalued. I thought it would be going places harder. A lot of people were on that Synchro Copia, myself included, and here it comes on down instead of up. It had a couple buyouts early on, and you can even see that bump in the graph. Non-stop down since people given up a little on synchro climbing. It's one of the most complicated 5-head strategies, especially when you have an interruption to be able to continue and go up combo lines, and that ain't for everybody, especially in a metagame of Yu-Gi-Oh! Rescue Ace is still chugging super strong on the market. I just wanted to point that out. It's something we haven't covered in a while since I've been gone. Just absolutely going strong here. Galaxy Eye Cypher Dragon was brought up by the Discord, and it's bumping up pretty continuously here from Ghost from the Past 1. A lot of people should have Ghost from the Past bulk, so here's something that's climbed to $4 out of there with all that new Galaxy support, etc. over time. Heat of the Fire Charmer seeing a little bit of play here, and they're also supposed to be doing good with Rescue Ace 2. The super rares are mad up through the month towards $6-7 even, and then the Starlight rare, it's been on stop down with a lot of Starlight rares in that market, but you do see a couple sales in the month, not doing the hottest. So the super going one way while the Starlight does another, and then you have tons of low rarity options if you just want some kind of copy for it, but super rare's trucking. And finally, I just wanted to point out something that seemed a bit low to me. Fire Formation Tinking. Now, this is Banless Copium along with a good deck to go along with it as well, but I think if there's Banless movement, you'll see kind of knee-jerk buyouts, then it cool down again, and then it wait for its time. Tinky, for the collector rare, is down towards $22. That seems a bit cheap to me, but again, for a set that actually was ripped open a good amount for Versus and has now calmed down and started to become a failure of its own. So Konami not getting fully rewarded for top loading those ultra rares, you know what I'm saying? This seems odd to be one of the lower collector rares to me, and it just speaks to where it's at. And I can see this a lot like Cosmic Cyclone, where eventually it's going to warp back in. But the question is, how long does your money sit into that versus when could that possibility that possibly couldn't happen will be? I think it's an inevitability for Beast Warrior or something like that to be doing good, but it could take a long time. So where your money could be versus passively hopiuming, that's what you have to decide when it comes to stuff like this. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. I think this is the first one where I didn't hack all the way through it. Thanks for watching. I'm back, baby.